Okay, cool. I always love how when I'm first going live, I never know if I'm live yet. It takes a minute. Welcome back, everyone, to another live session from Kitchen 365. Thanks for joining. Give it a sec for people to hop in here, and then we will get rolling. But today we are going to be talking a little bit about subscription-based websites, meaning websites that are paid for on a subscription basis and kind of made on a sort of a pre-built platform, like the one that Kitchen 365 offers for kitchen cabinet dealers and showrooms. So super stoked to get started and talk about that today. But all right, we've given people a minute or so to hop in, so let's get rolling. Like I said, today we're talking about subscription-based websites, meaning websites that you're paying for on a recurring basis for the platform and all of the benefits and features that come alongside that. So talking a little bit about what the perks are of going with a website like that, as opposed to having a fully custom website developed for your cabinet showroom or dealer business. Uh, so we'll start by showing kind of an example of what I'm talking about here um, in our demo site. Perfect. So yeah, this is, for all intents and purposes, the ideal kitchen cabinet showroom website. This is built on our proprietary platform that we've put together specifically for cabinet dealers and showrooms. So you'll see a lot of information here that's specific to that industry. But we've got a lot of kind of pre-put together modules showing off different products or design service offerings, things along those lines that are specific to this industry. And what's nice about that, which I'll get into a little bit, is having a site that has a lot of that stuff kind of pre-built in is really nice. So yeah, let's dive into it a little bit here. As far as reasoning behind why you would want to go with a website like this, um, there are a few major reasons. First and foremost, I think it comes down to cost, right? So, looking at um, the dollars and cents of it all. And what I mean by that is when you're looking at developing a new website for your business, regardless of what business you're in, but in our case, obviously, we work specifically with cabinet businesses. Regardless, when you're working with a business and that business is looking to develop a new site, the vast majority of the time, regardless of what CMS you're going with, whether that's WordPress, Magento, something else, there are a lot of costs associated with developing an all new site, especially if you're going with something that's super custom. And so, what's nice about going with a subscription-based website or a website that's kind of built on a subscription-based platform is a lot of those costs, at least in the upfront, are really lowered. Um, so you're not having to spend a lot of resources on putting this website together in the upfront. Depending on the platform or development team, upfront costs may be present, but most of the time they'll be much less than what you would see for a fully custom built site. So like again, for our platform, for example, there is an onboarding cost, but that cost is going to be significantly less than what you would be, you know, um, spending on a fully custom developed brand new site. Those can range up to like the 30, 40, 50 grand kind of benchmark. And when that's all one-time cost up front, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially for your local showrooms. It's just not necessarily that reasonable. So that's why it's a big benefit to go with something that's subscription based, because subscription pricing spreads cost over time, making it more budget friendly for those small to mid-sized dealers. And it's also that cost is a lot more predictable, in terms of your monthly billing cycle. So it makes it easier to manage those payments and that cash flow accordingly. Because sometimes when you're working with a fully custom site and you want, any major changes done, that's all of a sudden another kind of random big cost potentially that you could be having to throw at your developers, depending on how large the scale of the edit is, right? So overall, it's just nice to have a subscription-based platform that you can launch on at a much lower cost. It's super, super affordable most of the time. Also wanted to talk a little bit about launch timeline, right? While we're on that kind of topic of the onboarding process and how that whole journey works. Another great thing about going with a subscription-based website is that timeline is usually going to be a lot shorter. So what I mean by that is traditional websites can take months to scope, design, and build from scratch. But when you're looking at a website that's built on a subscription-based platform, that timeline a lot of the time is going to be much more condensed. So subscription websites come with a pre-built infrastructure and in our case that's tailored specifically to the cabinet showrooms and dealers, like I said. So this means your online showroom, for example, can launch in days or weeks as opposed to months. So that timeline's a lot shorter. You can get online a lot faster, and it just helps to expedite that process, because the sooner you can get online, the sooner you can begin to market that business and really start to see that growth. Faster time to market is faster ROI. That's the easiest way to put it. So that's another really major perk about launching on a subscription-based platform as opposed to fully custom developed. Another great thing, and I'll pop back over to our demo site for this, is all the ongoing support and updates that come with being on a subscription-based platform. So just popping back over here, what's really cool about being on a platform like this is out of the box, you're going to get pretty regular updates to you know um, the infrastructure of that site. Right, we're always adding additional features to help tailor to our specific niche and really help our clients that are on this platform make the most out of that subscription fee that they're paying every month. So for example, adding features like a visualizer, right, um, that help cabinet showroom clients really visualize, for lack of a better term, their future kitchen or their project is super, super beneficial. And these are the sorts of additions that we're making on a regular basis. Now, this one is already, obviously a part of the infrastructure that's there, but just using it as an example, those are the sorts of features and tools that we're always, working on adding to our platform. And so that is another major benefit of going with a subscription-based platform is you've got those sort of regular updates that are just going to be included in that subscription fee a lot of the time, subscription fee rather, a lot of the time. You get those continuous platform improvements, and you don't have to pay developers every time you want a feature added or fixed, right? You'll have a lot of that support kind of built in. So when if for whatever reason something does break, hopefully it won't. That's the idea. But if for whatever reason something does, if there's ever an issue, you're not necessarily having to pay additional fees to get those things fixed. If it's part of the platform that's broken, obviously, we're going to fix it for you. And yeah, you just you get a lot of the benefits of kind of staying up to date with design trends, industry standards, any UI UX updates that are we think are really across the board, becoming more prevalent. Like, we want to include those things or give you the opportunity at least to incorporate those things into your site. So those sorts of things. Integrations is another big one. Anything that we think would be super, super beneficial. You don't have to lift a finger. The subscription platform in our case, us, we do all that stuff for you. um, Another piece I wanted to talk about is scalability, right? So when you're talking about um, growing your business and being able to have a platform that can grow and scale with you, that's really, really important. Because the last thing you want is to launch this big, bad, beautiful new website that you spent 30, 40, 50 grand on, and then maybe 10 years down the line you're struggling to continue to have that website keep up with your business. And maybe the logistics of your organization or whatever it looks like for you, right? But what's nice about a subscription-based platform is once again it solves a lot of those problems. So you can start really simple, right? You don't necessarily need all of the bells and whistles that we do offer, right? But you may not necessarily need some of those advanced features when you first launch, and you don't have to, right? So you get the benefit of choosing what exactly you want to incorporate and what you don't when you first start, whether you want to go super simple or super advanced. And then as you scale, you can add on a lot of those additional advanced features over time. So maybe you don't start with a visualizer, for example, or you don't start with full e-commerce capabilities on your site. But again, they're fully baked in. All you have to do is click a button or make a request, and it kind of happens for you. CRM integrations, anything like that, right? Um, Many subscription-based platforms offer those sorts of add-ons or tiers that grow with your business, right? So in our case, for example, a lot of the time with our subscription model for when people come on as a new dealer with us, maybe they just want to start with the simple lead gen website to have that online presence. But down the line, maybe they want to add in e-commerce, or maybe down the line they want to add in some marketing services. So we've got kind of a tiered pricing model that you're able to incorporate those things super easily. We can get you onboarded onto marketing services super easily to begin to grow that website, to begin to grow that online presence and generate those leads. So super you know unique in the way that the subscription model solves that problem for you, because you're not necessarily having to go then and spend way more additional dollars or search for maybe a marketing agency to help you. A lot of that stuff can be baked in as you go, just by proxy of going with a subscription model. And yeah, you really avoid that problem of outgrowing the static site that you built however many years ago. It has the sort of flexibility and adaptability of being able to change and grow with you. And while we're kind of on the subject of marketing, what's really cool about a subscription-based platform is it's pretty, especially for us, it's really marketing ready from day one. Um, and so, what I mean by that is most subscription platforms include things like SEO tools, social media integrations, built-in analytics and insights that are all, like I said, just from the get-go, kind of baked into that platform. So once again, you're not having to go out and find additional tools to then pay a developer to integrate them, and the cycle goes on and on and on. More cha-ching, cha-ching, right? A lot of those things are once again um, included from the get-go. So just popping back over to our demo site, we add this back in. Social media integrations are all going to be there by default, and not just the icons there in the footer, but also a lot of the tracking we include by default, things like that. Um, a lot of the, like, your Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager integrations are already kind of baked in. So a lot of that marketing infrastructure is really already there. It's just a matter of deciding, whether or not you want to get going and really start growing that business or not. So a lot of that stuff is already there. Or even just something as simple as like offers, or like social proof. A lot of that stuff that you really want or need from a marketing perspective is already there. I was looking for, yeah, so reviews, that's what I'm talking about, with the social proof stuff. But a lot of that stuff is already baked in, which is really, really nice. A lot of your offers, like your free kitchen design, again, baked in from the get-go. Those are all things that you want to make sure are incorporated from the start, if you can, right? Or that way down the line, again, when you are ready to start marketing and start growing, it's as simple as a kind of a flip of a switch. But yeah, you really just, you can start driving traffic and capturing leads immediately, instead of waiting for a bunch of custom developments. Again, kind of going back to that timeline, and you can really combine your site with ad services or marketing services like the ones that we provide here at Kitchen 365, and content offerings for maximum lift, right? So having a lot of that stuff kind of baked in from the get-go with these subscription tools, with all of the integrations and analytics and different SEO tools and stuff like that built in, is really really convenient for a lot of the dealers that we work with. Because just to give you kind of a use case, a lot of the time what happens with our clients, with the dealers and the showrooms, is like I said, they will come on with us, just wanting to get an online presence and have an online store or some sort of online, even just simple site, where they can show where they're at and begin to get some phone calls or some form submissions, things like that. And then down the line they're like, hey, I've got this site, it's going pretty well, I'm seeing some engagement and things along those lines, but I really want to like take this thing to the next level and really start to drive some more leads. So in that case, a lot of the time what they do is, give us a ring, or just basically go into their platform and, hey, say, opt in to whatever. I want to incorporate some marketing services, some digital marketing services into my subscription with you guys, and then bing, bang, boom, we get them going, get them onboarded, and get pay-per-click ads launched, get additional advanced SEO added to the site with some big bad features, and start building a backlink portfolio, things along those lines. So super super easy to get that stuff going if it's baked into an existing subscription model. And then last thing I wanted to mention, which is kind of specific to our subscription model, is built-in industry features, right? So the difference between our platform and some other subscription-based website models or websites is the focus on the kitchen cabinet industry. So with the Kitchen 365 platform, you get a lot of cabinet-focused features like your product catalogs with filtering by door style, finish, and different specs. You get, on the marketing side of things, a lot of lead capture tools out of the box, quoting modules, which is super super useful for your homeowners or contractors. Swatch previews, once again, that are all built in. That visualizer integration that I mentioned before, all from the get-go are ready to go. So again, just having the availability of all these different tools off the rip is super, super helpful. We've got, different templates for inspiration galleries, which on like every cabinet site is something that you're going to want. Um, you know, we've got templates for financing information, because a lot of the time these big investments you know, um, for new kitchens are going to take a little time to pay off. So you want to have those sorts of things. Like I said, the social proof and all the testimonial stuff, we've got default integrations and different templates and platforms that can integrate. We've got obviously the e-commerce system, the cart system, all your product catalog stuff, like I said. So going with a subscription model that has a lot of this industry specificity baked in is super, super beneficial for your cabinet dealers and showrooms, because at the end of the day, there is some specialization with this business and any other, right? There are certain things that only make sense for this business, this industry. And you want to make sure that you're paying for something that's actually going to work for your business at the end of the day. Which again just sort of goes back to the idea of looking at subscription model versus custom site. At the end of the day, the major benefit and the major thing that you want to consider is ease of use, scalability, user experience, all these things that a subscription model or a website that's built on a subscription model offers your business and offers your users. These are all things that you should consider when you are getting a website developed. So that is pretty much all I had for you guys today. Again, just kind of wanted to go through and talk a little bit about what all those benefits are, and what all the awesome opportunities are that come along with getting your website developed on a subscription based platform as opposed to fully custom dev. And specifically with Kitchen 365, how we can help dealers in that regard. So I really hope this was helpful. I hope that I got the point across to you here. And if this is something that you want to learn more about, or if you want to talk a little bit about our platform more specifically in more detail, please definitely reach out to us at kitchen365.com or on any of these social channels. We're happy to touch base with you there as well. And if you're interested in any of our marketing services that go along with our B2C, dealer showroom website platform, then please let me know. Happy to talk to you more specifically, and talk about how we can grow your business. So thanks again. Really appreciate your time, and looking forward to another live session very soon. All right, take care. Bye bye.